But don't look in your rearview mirror, here comes number 8. He's a rocker and a roller, and he shows us how to shut him down. I guess he runs independent until my dad is back in town. Yeah, I guess he runs independent until my dad is back in town. Bad boy, stand on it, son.
And welcome to the Nasboys podcast. Now, did you know that both drivers who drove the Penske number 12 were both named Ryan Newman and Ryan Blaney, respectively? You probably knew that, but we still have to report it. So, anyways, guys, welcome to the Nasboys podcast. I'm your host, Michelangelo, aka Mike, aka Mike FobFam 101, with my good friend Ryan, aka 3_ Ryan _ W 3_.
What's up, guys? I was thinking about changing your name to Mike Myers, actually, but
I'll do that next episode. But anyways, we are going to be a little bit shorthanded tonight, but that's okay. We are going to talk about the Martinsville weekend, the rain weekend, pretty much. So, Ryan, what did you think of the race, the Xfinity race, to start out with Josh Berry getting the win?
yeah, I think the Xfinity race was pretty good. I can't remember much. I don't think I was able to watch the Xfinity race last year at Martinsville, so I can't really compare it. But this one I thought was really good. We saw some good racing before the rain. Yeah, just like in the Cup Series, when it started off, you had dominant drivers, then the rain came in, and they fell off after the rain when they went back racing. And I feel like we saw some of those in the Xfinity races as well. But yeah, I think it was a pretty good race overall, and I'm surprised by Josh Berry. I didn't think he was bad. I didn't think that there's no way he could have won. I just wasn't expecting him to win, especially since there's so much drivers that had more experience than him at this track. And I'm a Josh Berry fan, so it was really cool to see him, and great to see Junior being that proud of him and crying for it. So I think it was a pretty good race.
Yeah, totally. I gotta agree with you. I thought it was a pretty solid race. It wasn't my favorite Xfinity race by any means, but it certainly wasn't bad. Like what you said, we saw people like Harrison Burton and Justin Allgaier. They started out pretty strong. Allmendinger, who I thought could have been a contender to win, he had a problem. I forgot what it was, but he did have a problem, which
I think he had
cost
a
him.
right front.
Yeah, it was like a tire issue. I remember that.
Yeah, he said the tire went down, but the tire was fine.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So.
That's right. Thank you, Ryan. But yeah, AJ Allmendinger went to the back, then the rain hit, and then they came back. And how about Ty Gibbs, man? That guy is just so talented. He's gonna be a star in NASCAR. But Josh Berry, like what you said, I had no disrespect towards him. I was just neutral. I didn't know who he was, but I didn't know this about him, but he was actually a short track late model racer, so he figured out the track pretty well, I guess. I think he raced on there, but I'm not entirely sure. So maybe at Bristol, Josh Berry could be a threat when they get back to the pavement. So we'll have to see how that goes. I thought the racing, like I said, was pretty solid. I'll give the race a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, same here. 7.
So now let us look at you guys' thoughts on it. 3 of you said great, 5 of you said good, none of you said meh/okay, and none of you said bad. And the driver of the day is Josh Berry. Let's take a look at the Cup race. You can start.
Yeah, I think the Cup race was pretty good as well. I personally liked the Xfinity a bit more than the Cup race. I feel like it had some, better racing, and Ty Gibbs definitely made it interesting because I was rooting for him. I really thought he could win, and he very well could have at some points. It looked like he had it in the bag. But Cup race, not as good in my opinion, like I said, but I still think it was a pretty good race. Also not my favorite Martinsville Cup race, but it was good. I liked it. Um, who won again? I'm drawing a blank.
Martin Truex Jr.
Yeah, Truex. I'm not surprised because I knew he was good there, and he won like what 3 now out of the last 4 races or something like that, or 2 out of the last 3. It's a pretty good ratio, so I wasn't surprised, but I just wasn't expecting him to win that fast. Especially, yeah, since last year, I thought he was going to start off at the season, maybe have 1 or 2 wins in the middle, but he started off really good. So while I'm not the biggest fan of him, I definitely don't hate him. I don't really like Gibbs in general, but he's probably my favorite driver right now that's actually on Gibbs. So it was cool to see him win again. And yeah, overall, I guess it was a pretty solid race, but I'll give it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I actually really like this race. I saw a lot of people like saying, it was just meh, but I really liked it because it had everything that you wanted in a Martinsville race. You got your good racing, and it wasn't just like in the front battling for the lead like we saw with Ryan Blaney and Denny Hamlin. Like we saw some interesting battles, middle of the pack, top 10, that type of stuff. We saw good wrecks. And we saw some tempers flaring with William Byron and Daniel Suarez.
Priest, because probably a little displeasure from Daniel Suarez towards, I believe, William Byron.
Well, that came from the help that he got getting into the turn 2 wall earlier.
Yes. My unofficial tally.
And I thought that was really interesting. So I really like the race. I'm going to give it a 8 out of 10. I'm not a huge fan of the winner, though, but it's better than Hamlin, even though I'm gonna pick Hamlin for the fall probably because he had a pretty good car, I would say. I thought him or Blaney was gonna win it.
Yeah, I think Chase could have won if they had more laps to go.
Maybe. I mean, he started coming around when it started getting a little bit darker. Same with Logano. Logano had a pretty bad car, and then it took off once it started getting dark, and then the red flag hit, and then he slowly started going back down to like 6. So maybe in the fall things will improve. We'll have to see how it goes. Speaking of tempers flaring, how about Gray Galding and Joe Graff Jr. fighting? If you haven't seen that, here's the clip.
And I hit the 9 with me, and we were kind of dorking around there for a little bit, and after I kind of hit it and got loose, it kind of killed my momentum, and kind of made me a little bit tighter. So my fault, but overall, decent day, well left. I feel like we didn't really hit him and knocked him loose, and I feel like we could have probably caught back up and maybe got third or second, maybe first. So, but I just can't, I can't complain. I had a good day. I learned a lot today, so it was a good time, and Martinsville's fun. It tests my patience out.
So, what's your thoughts on that fight?
I didn't actually see it live. I didn't know what it was about. I saw it on Instagram afterwards because I actually got off of the race once it ended. So I didn't get to see that, and I didn't know much of what it was about. But from the comments I've read, I'm guessing it was a bump and run or something like that. Because what was it about? Because I just saw people saying like, "Oh, short track racing," like what Hamlin said, and mimicking them. So
yeah, I have no clue what it was about. I was just like talking in another chat, and then I just saw the video of the fight, and I'm just like, what is this about? Like it wasn't even captured on TV. It just happened once the cameras turned off. So
yeah, that's probably why I didn't see it then.
Yeah, not too sure what the fight was about.
Yeah.
So I don't really have any opinion on it, but we just have to report it.
Yeah, I didn't think penalties would be in the issue. Like they mentioned they didn't get any penalties, but I didn't even think that was a thought for them to get penalties. So I'm wondering what was like the actual reason for people to want penalties for it.
And then with the Suarez and Byron incident, I probably put a clip up already, but that's just like Martinsville racing, honestly. Like Suarez, like I get he has the right to be frustrated. He had a pretty solid car and was climbing up the field relatively well, and Byron just moved him out of the way. I mean, he was I think he was a little impatient. I didn't see it like live. I just saw the replay of it, but from what I saw, he just looked a little impatient. Just moved him out of the way. Suarez threw the water bottle at him. you know, that stuff just happens sometimes. His crew chief got ejected because of the ball last issue, but Suarez could probably rebound, I think, and this could be an interesting rivalry to see, but who knows what's going to come about it.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it's going to affect Suarez too much, like points wise, even though he was doing good. And you know, I even thought, like, when I saw him rising that quickly, that he had a chance because we saw him unlap himself from like 2, 3 laps down and was going back towards the leader, and he was doing it. So I was extremely surprised by that. And I believe, like, when it happened live, they didn't have the camera angle of what happened. They only show him hitting the wall. And then during the red flag, that's when we first saw what William Byron did. And my first thought was that Suarez, braked earlier than William Byron, which could have caused it. But I'm not really sure what went down, and I don't think it was Byron's fault. I don't think he would just do that out of the blues, especially the Suarez. But I do understand Suarez's frustration, especially because he was doing that well. And even though he probably would have still gotten taken out in the big one that we saw, he did, that did put him in the wall and make him lose momentum. So I understand his frustration.
Yeah, definitely. You guys' thoughts on the Cup race? 4 of you said great. 9 of you said good. 1 of you said meh/okay, and none of you said bad. Underscore Carlos underscore says good bump and runs here and there. Definitely. And your driver of the day is Ryan Blaney, which I can agree with. Josh Berry, I definitely agree with, but Ryan Blaney, I can agree with. So I feel like Hamlin probably would have chased him down if it was under green. But I mean, Blaney's a good driver. He could do well at this track.
Yeah, for the same reason I said earlier, just because of how consistent he was. I would say that Suarez could be counted as the driver of the day.
Yeah, I mean, talking about Blaney a little bit here, I felt bad for him at the end because, Blaney's one of my favorite drivers, and he was having such a good run, and then that Blaney look just happened. He just with the tire gun coming under the car. That was a heartbreaker.
Yeah. All my fantasy points went with that gun.
Bro, I probably could have won our league because I had Blaney, and Blaney was doing so well, and I was leading by like 1 point with Wallace after he stayed out. And then Blaney had that tire gun issue and came in third last week.
Yep, every week I lead half the damn race, and then there's a last lap pass, and I get screwed over.
I feel you there, buddy. I haven't won a race this season in fantasy, but enough about our fantasy. If you want to play fantasy with me, Ryan, and Spencer, who hasn't been on the show that much, hopefully he comes back on soon. Yeah, that's everybody that's in the league. If you guys want to play with us, go to the description box below. There should be a link to our fantasy league. We would love to play with you. It's a very competitive league. And comment down below your Instagram if you join the league so we can add you to the chat. So now let's get into some paint scheme review here. We're going to start off with Jeb Burton's per year tank lines. An okay scheme, I would say. It's got the nice black base with red stripe and a yellow outline. Go ahead. I'll give it a 6.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. It looks like your basic colleague scheme. There's nothing really calling out to me that's over the top, but that's really, really good about it. So I'm gonna say I'm also gonna agree with the 6 because I would say 5, but I like the flow of the red and yellow lines a bit. It looks pretty cool with the black. I can't find a picture of the car on the track. I don't know if it was raced yet, but it looks like matte colors, which I personally think would look better than gloss. So I'll go with a 6.
It just raced in the Xfinity race.
Okay.
Maybe I can find a picture of it on Google when I edit this video. So if you see that, you know what happened. So Next up is the Rick Ware cars for, I believe this race, yeah, Coke 600. They are all sponsored by Nurtec. And the cool thing about these is that they all have their own little schemes, which I like. So we're going to start off with number 15, James Davison for the Navy. This is an interesting little scheme. It does have the Navy colors. I would like it a little better if it was Navy in the front and mostly Navy, but I still like the scheme, so I'll give it a 7.
Yeah, that's a 7's a bit high for me. I mean, looking at the other schemes, I don't really like this one as much as the others. And I get the colors for the Navy, but I agree the white, I feel like definitely should have been some blue. And maybe replace the yellow with blue,
True.
my opinion. So I'll give it a 5 because I don't really like it that much. I'm pretty neutral about this one.
And then next up, we have 51 of Garrett Smithley's Air Force. I really like this scheme. This is nice, with gray, silver color combination. I really like it. The only thing I don't like is I wish they had the mouth, like on the Warthog, I think it's called, like they had with Bubba Wallace, and I believe Eric Jones will have the same paint scheme as well. That would have been so cool, but I understand, it's been done before. They wanted to go with something a little different, and I think they really achieved this well. I'm going to give it a 9.
Yeah, this one I really do like. It looks like, yeah, digital camo, I believe.
Yeah.
Like dark gray or almost snow camo if it was like a lighter white. But I really like this scheme. I love the gray. It looks fast. It looks sleek. So I'm going to agree with you and give this one a 9.
And then next up, we have Josh Balicki's Army. I really like this one as well. It's got the nice green, which I think like some people wouldn't like it because of the green, but I like it because of the military kind of vibe, and that's what they were going for, which I really like. It's got the same camo as we just saw with the 51. I don't like it as much, but I'll still give it a 7 as well.
Yeah, this is pretty good. So yeah, we gave the last scheme a 9, I believe. Yeah.
Yes.
And this game I do really like, but not as much as the gray. I mean, it's the same exact scheme, just on a Ford, which I personally think it looks better on a Ford than a Chevy. And you have the Army colors rather than the other one. But I don't like, just because of the colors, I don't like it as much, but that's not a big difference for me, so I'm only going to drop it 1 point and give it a 7, give it an 8 instead of a 9.
Okay. And then next up is JJ Yaley's Marines. This is the same like camo pattern, but it reminds me of Garrett Smithley's scheme that he drove earlier this year for Trophy Tractor. So I don't really like that they reused the scheme, but that's whatever. I'll give this one a 9.
Yeah, this one is pretty much like the one we've seen already. But, that's good. I like black and red schemes. And I've actually been surprised how much black and red schemes we've seen that look pretty bad this season. But this one looks really good. It's way different from the other black and red schemes. But in a good way, I like it. I still like that they have the same digital camo, the gray one, the gray camo that we saw on the previous car, on the one that we gave a 9 to. So I'm going to give this one an 8 as well, like last round.
And then next up is Chase Briscoe's Global Mustang Week. This one looks like when Daniel Suarez drove the Coke Vanilla Orange car. I don't really like this car. I like the color, but the design is just not really there. I'll give it a 5.
Yeah, this reminds me so much of Ryan Newman's Oscar Mayer scheme. When I saw this, I actually didn't know it was the 14. I saw it all over my social media, and people were sending it to me like, "Oh, check this out!" And like, I didn't really pay attention to the number because once I saw, hey, Christian's here.
Well, that was not expected.
Hey.
He should be talking in just a second. But
yeah, I'm gonna finish this one up here. I automatically assumed this was a Newman scheme because it's just, I think, the same exact yellow and orange as the Oscar Mayer scheme. But even though it's similar, I still think it's a pretty good scheme, and I like the colors. So I actually really like this scheme. I'm gonna give it a
hey, what's going on, Christian?
Yo, what's up? I'm driving.
Well, guess what? We're recording.
Yeah. I was like, well, if they're by themselves, I might as well hop in. I don't have my computer or nothing, so I guess I'll let y'all finish the patient review, and then I guess I can talk. But yeah, I just got done playing basketball for those who don't know. So yeah, my fault.
Shout out to Christian for joining, even though we're recording.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't even think I was gonna be on this episode, but Spencer's apparently sick. And Cam canceled. So
He canceled.
Okay. Next up is Ryan Newman's Savvy. I don't really like this. There's no design to it at all. It's just Savvy. Like, actually, there is a little bit of the design, but it's very hard to tell. I'm gonna give this one a 2.
Yeah, this is one of the schemes I think would look way better in real life than on the render. Because when you zoom in, you can see, like, what do you call those? Like chipboards or wires?
It looks like, you know how like tables have kind of like a design engraved in them? It looks like that.
Oh yeah, those like those wood tables with the
Yeah.
wood ring. Yeah, actually, I can't unsee that now. But I'll give the render a 2, but I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt and say that it looks way better on track, and I'll give it a 5.
I'm not sure when it's gonna race though, so maybe we'll re-review it when it gets on track. I don't know. We'll see.
All they say is a primary sponsor. They don't say for what.
And then next up is Kyle Busch's Snickers peanut brownie squares. This is okay, I would say. I like the purple. It's something different with Snickers, and that picture of the Snickers makes me really hungry, but I can't eat peanuts, so that's a shame. So I'm gonna give this one a 7.
Yeah, this game I think looks better than his old Snickers brownie scheme, his old purple one. And I like how they have, again, an actual picture on the side. That's one thing with Kyle Busch's schemes this season. They don't have like funny cartoony animations, besides the M&Ms that with faces. But I like how they have an actual picture. It looks good. I like the purple as well to fit the brownie and the peanut scheme. So I'm going to give this one a 7.
And then next up is Joey Logano's throwback. Shockingly, Joey Logano gets the scheme. Finally. This one, I don't really know how I feel about this one because it looks like his primary. It's got the same logos as his primary, but I know that it's a throwback because he's throwing back to Mario Andretti's first F1 win, which you do see the throwback vibe with the circle near the number as well as the black number. I'm gonna give this one. I'll give this one a 6.
This one is not working for me. Nothing against Logano, nothing against. And who do you say was throwing back to? Andretti?
Mario Andretti's first F1 win.
Yeah, nothing against him, no disrespect. I just don't think this scheme works on a cup car. I thought his throwback I thought Logano's throwback last year was bad, but I have them both brought up side by side, and I personally like his old one more from last year. So I'm gonna give this new one. I'm gonna give it a 3.
Am I the only one who liked Logano's throwback last year? They just needed to make the blue darker or the red darker, excuse me.
Yeah.
Probably am, but whatever. Next up is Ryan Priest's Maxwell House Chevrolet. Finally, JTG makes a good scheme, except for the same design that they've used for Ryan Priest. This looks like a little bit of Nas, but I don't really care. It looks decent, so I'll give it a 7.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9 just because I love NOS schemes, and this looks just like one. You got the blue, orange, and white, and I know it's Maxwell's house, and it's got an Operation Finally Home. I think that's where the orange comes in, because we can see that in his corner paddle with the orange logo. But wherever the orange comes from, I think it works. I like how they have it coming out in like pointy arrows or blades coming out from the front, kind of like flames. So I'm sticking with a 9. I like it.
And then next up is Dawson Cram's Good Sam. This one is very, very bright. It kind of gives me Logano vibes a little bit, but
it's like an inverse Logano.
It is, which I don't really like it that much. That's the thing. I don't really like it that much. I'll give this one a 5.
Yeah, it's just bright. I don't really know what to say about it. I don't have much to say about it. Just bright red and yellow, and I guess cool shapes. The shapes on the side look like they remind me of Byron's like rectangular things he has, but
Yeah.
I don't know what to say really. So I'm gonna give it a 6.
And then next up is Ryan Ellis's Corvette parts. Throwing back to Tim Richmond. I think that, well, I mean, it looks similar to what the 88 had. I don't really know how I feel about this scheme because we've seen it done with the 88, like we said. It's got like a picture of a truck on the side, which that's pretty cool. I'm assuming that's Darlington, but I can't tell. So I'll give this one a 6.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this one a 7. It's looks pretty basic, looks pretty red, but again, I know it's a throwback. And I like the subtle picture in the side. That's just that much darker red. I think it looks pretty cool. And along the bottom, it kind of like fades to black in the back, which I like. So I'll give it a 7.
And then next up is Austin Hill's Mobile One Toyota Racing Development Scheme for the Toyota Care 250 this weekend. I don't know why I read the whole caption, but all right. I really like it. It's got the nice Mobile One vibe with the black, red, and white. And they just did a really good job on the truck. I'll give it a 9.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 for me for a truck scheme. I think personally this is the best truck scheme we've seen. Not as good as some of the cups, but when it comes to truck alone, I think this is my favorite that we've reviewed. So 10 out of 10 for pretty much the same reasons you said. I love all the colors. I like how they fit the red in. And it's really smart because the red works with the Mobile One red and the TRD red.
Exactly. They killed 2 birds with 1 stone right there. That was awesome.
Yeah, 10.
And then next up is Joe Graff Jr.'s Buckled Up Energy / Aurorius Graff. It's got this nice gold bars on the side, which I really like, and they're real gold bars, not like cartoon gold bars. So in that aspect, it's cool. I'll give it a 7.
Yeah, I'm also gonna give this one a 7.
And then next up, wait, can freaking find the next scheme. Next up is Tommy Joe Martin's Capital City Towing. This looks like Pepto-Bismol, in my honest opinion. I guess it's okay. I mean, I'll give it a 6.
I don't know why. I don't know what it is about this scheme, but I like it. I'm gonna give it an 8.
And then finally, we have Jade Buford's throwback. He is throwing it back to Dan Gurney, which I really like. I mean, it's a simple scheme, but I believe was Dan Gurney, he was like an old-timey stock car driver, I think. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure he ran Le Mans a few times too.
Yeah, so this is a pretty cool scheme, I would say. Nice Hot Wheels on the side. We don't really see too many Hot Wheels cars every day.
Yeah,
I'll give this one a 7.
I'm gonna give it a 9. just because it's a pretty nice throwback. And I've heard about Dan Gurney. I've learned about him in the past. He seems like a pretty cool guy. So I like that as well. It's cool that they're throwing back to him. And I love how Big Machine sponsored it on the hood. Like they put on the side where they would put like the horsepowers. And then they have a logo in the center. Is that, yeah, there's a Hot Wheels logo right in the center of the hood, but it's not big and obnoxious. It doesn't take up from the colors on the hood. So I really like it. I'm gonna give this one a 9, actually.
Dan Gurney was the GOAT of road courses.
Yep.
So he was the road course ringer before Allmendinger, Montoya, and Ambrose.
Actually,
All right. Now we're going to go into the top 10 here for Richmond. This is top 10 Richmond moments. I'll get us started with number 10, Kurt Busch edging out Denny Hamlin.
Just 14 laps to go. There's Hamlin. Does he have enough time?
He's about a 10th and a half quicker. Can Denny catch him at the right place and get something done? It's going to be very difficult to do without him.
Like that? You mean traffic?
Took care of that one.
This is going to be close.
Rotate that line straight off, outside.
Right here's where Denny Hamlin is so good getting back to the throttle.
Man.
See Kurt Busch driving it in a little bit further, but Hamlin able to get the drive off and close that gap. Okay, it's just the two of them now, no traffic.
Come into the white flag. Kurt Busch, Denny Hamlin.
Oh, he got him loose right there.
Inside, continue your mark, white flag, 1-4. 1-4,
lap
you
to
guys
go.
got nothing out back.
How rough will it get? Can Kurt hang with him? Joe Gibbs Racing's 18 with Denny Hamlin, Kurt Busch in brother Kyle's 54. Here they come to the checkered flag. Who's it going to be? Hamlin sliding it sideways. Give it to Kurt Busch. Woo!
What a race. What a finish. Woo! Man, what a job by Kurt Busch to hang on the outside there.
I don't know what to say. I mean, to have Kurt do it doesn't bother me one bit. That's awesome. Just a great feeling for me, for Samantha, for Grandma at home, for my dad, everybody. This is cool. This is really cool.
So in the 2012 Spring Xfinity, then Nationwide race, Kurt was driving for his brother Kyle's team and had the fastest car. However, with 20 laps to go, Hamlin's car came to life and he caught up to Busch. After some beating and banging, Kurt came out victorious. I think I remember watching a little bit of this race as a little kid, so pretty interesting. Number 9, Ryan.
Yep. Here at number 9, we have Jeremy Mayfield, his win at Richmond.
Top him off of fuel. Hey, here comes the leader. The leader's out of fuel. There you go. Kurt Busch diving in for a stop with 8 laps to go. Jeremy Mayfield is out in front.
We're getting down to it. White flag. White flag, and Ryan Newman takes the white flag.
Mayfield looking for the win. Who's going to have enough fuel to make the final lap? Bobby Labonte is off the pace on the back straightaway a little bit. Getting passed by a few cars. Here comes Jeremy Mayfield. He wins the Chevy Rock and Roll 400 and into the chase for the Nextel Cup.
Jeremy Mayfield has just pulled into victory lane and is about to climb on out and celebrate his first win in a long, long time. And this is big. I talked to his car owner, Ray Evernham, last week before the race at California. He said he believed they had to get it done last week. And when they didn't, they put the focus on Richmond. And Jeremy Mayfield has raced his way back to victory lane and into the chase for the Nextel Cup. There are high high fives and handshakes and hugs. That's Ray Evernham, his car owner. You can't believe it? What can't you believe?
Man, what a night,
Think the party's out in Owensboro?
My mom, dad, everybody home. We did it. Party is Owensboro, North Carolina, Tennessee, or where we're from there.
Jeremy Mayfield wins in Richmond, Dave.
Yeah!
This was in 2004, and this was the first year that the Trace format was put into play. Trace, obviously now known as the playoffs.
Yeah, that race, low key, like, if I'm correct, he needed like 51 or 81
55.
points to get in, and he was able to get in with that win.
Yeah,
Sorry, I interrupted.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, at this point, this was when, like I said, it just started, and they only had 10 people. The top 10 drivers in points would make it in, and he was in 14th, and actually below the top 10 for 4 consecutive races now, and he actually didn't win for quite a few races. And this lap, he dominated. He led so many laps and ended up winning, and from 14th, he needed 55 points to make it in. And he got 190 points from this race. So it sent him way over what he needed, almost twice as many into the playoffs, into the Chase at the time. So pretty cool for him. It was a pretty good race. I watched some of it today when I was looking this up.
Yeah. And moving on to number 8, it was Carl Edwards moving his teammate Kyle Busch to win the spring race in 2016. Roll the tape.
And here we go, boys.
Yeah, that's where the spotters start running to the other spotters saying, all right, we got 1 lap to go.
White flag. 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank. And here it is. Here's the move.
Look at this. Contact. Did they make contact?
No, I don't know. It's pretty close, but this is going to be a drag race. Last gasp, turn 3, last lap. Traffic ahead. Kyle Busch, the leader.
Look at this.
Carl
Look at
Edwards
this.
right
Look at
there.
this.
Moves him to win it. Carl Edwards dump and run. Oh, God.
How did he pull that off?
That's a teammate.
Oh, my goodness.
27 victories.
You're the man, dude. You're the man. I don't know what happened, but that was cool.
2 in a row for Carl Edwards. 6th time in his career. He goes back to back, and that is the first last lap pass in the history of Richmond International Raceway.
An emotional win for Carl Edwards, back to back, and the first ever last lap pass to win at Richmond. Was there any question at all once you caught Kyle that you'd bump and run to win?
Oh yeah, it was a huge question. Kyle's an amazing teammate, and it's like he got really slow there at the end. Something happened that last lap. It's like his rear tires went off or something. He went down into 1. I dove it in, and I got to him. And I thought, man, I got something here. And then he went to get down the bottom and park it in 3 and 4, and I'd already decided to go down there. So I thought, man, I'm going to give him a little nudge. And, we both got wins, and we're racing for fun, getting these trophies, and just an awesome day. I cannot thank Xfinity enough. I hope folks are watching with the X1. It's a revolutionary way to watch TV, and man, I didn't think we had anything. Kyle was so good there for that run. I was doing everything I could. He never spun his tires, and if Dave hadn't screamed at me on the radio to just go get him, that last lap, I don't know if I'd have dove it in there that hard. So real team effort.
Yeah, so Carl Edwards, he was looking for his, if I'm correct, it might have been his first win of the season, and he was catching his teammate Kyle Busch, and Busch has been really good at Richmond. I mean, especially in past, he's won a lot of races there. If I'm correct, he's won 6. And in the final lap, Carl Edwards had a chance to, move him out of the way, and he gave him the good old bump and run. And, usually Kyle Busch would go after people and try to beat them up or fight them, you know what I'm saying, after the race. But he didn't do that with Carl because, of course, Carl's his teammate at the time. So I felt like that one deserved the number 8 spot.
In at number 7, we have Ricky Rudd versus Kevin Harvick.
And meanwhile, Jeremy Mayfield back there giving Ricky Rudd all he wants for that 3rd spot.
And boy, you can tell Harvick is driving that car in hard, trying to get to the bumper of the 12 car, but he pays for it. Loose,
and crashed.
Oh, no.
Back down into traffic. Look out. Wow. Kenny Wallace taking the high side, and the caution flag is out. Kevin Harvick's not going to finish second tonight. Did he get into him? That's what I want to see here.
Yep, he sure did.
Yep.
And boy, we talk about this all the time, Benny. When you get hit going into a corner, you don't save that race car.
Nothing you can do.
Inside. He's spun up. Caution's out. He's spun up.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, yep. Angry drivers, we've got some tonight. We got Robbie Gordon looking for somebody. That would be Jeff Burton.
Yep. Ricky Rudd Kevin Harvick looking for Ricky Rudd.
Yep. And he knows that Ricky Rudd has come to the top 5 impound area on pit road.
Did you hear that?
That's Be Smart. That's where he's coming to find him. And so what happens in these situations is we get pit crews involved. Harvick's pit crew coming in to intervene. And an army of Winston Cup officials. And Kevin will go for a visit to the big red truck.
And those good wrenched guys, they were there to protect Kevin from himself.
Yeah.
I mean, they were not. That's the only reason they were there.
They weren't there after Ricky Rudd.
No,
they were there to.
Yeah. Exactly.
These guys are going, hey, get off our car, man.
NASCAR officials telling Kevin to get off the car, get the crewman off the car. Kevin going to have his say. Here we go. He walked across the top of the 21. And now it's on.
I tell you what, that big official, Big Andy. Big Andy's. Think about going by Andy. There's Todd Berry, the crew chief. Matt!
Yeah.
Benny, we've got Todd Berry trying to hold back Kevin. Very frustrating night, Kevin. Yeah, I tell you what, Jim Goodwin's car was good tonight. Ricky Rudd took a goddamn cheap shot at us. And if he's going to, take a cheap shot, he's going to get one back, I promise you that.
And it's off to the big red truck.
There's Pat Tryson, the crew chief for Rudd. Marty?
And Ricky being pinned to the car right now by Pat Tryson, his crew chief. Ricky, what was the contact with Kevin about?
I don't know. Kevin had trouble on the restart. He couldn't get going or something. Anyway, went down turn 1. I guess he just put on the brakes a little harder than he had been, and I got in the back of him. I mean, my fault, but it wasn't on purpose. It was an accident. This stuff here is just absolutely ridiculous that NASCAR will put up with this. This is our car that's going next week to the race. Look at the hood. Look at the damage. I mean, that's totally ridiculous after the race, stuff like that.
What did he say to you when he climbed out of the car?
I couldn't hear him. He's, got that little yap mouth. I couldn't tell what he was saying.
Fireworks at Richmond.
You want drama? We got drama.
So in this one, Harvick was battling for the lead with Rudd in 2003. Harvick had bumped him out of the way, sending Rudd into the wall, which he miraculously saved the car. With just 6 laps to go, Rudd caught up to Kevin and gave him some payback, and eventually won the race.
And I think you're talking about 2001. Does that happen in 2001? I know the 2003 one was the one where Rudd wrecked Harvick. and they were bound for second late in that race. Newman was leading, and yeah, that one Ricky Rudd took out Harvick, and they had a fight on pit road.
Okay, I thought it was 2003 because when I was researching, I read that one.
2003.
Okay. Ryan?
Yeah, here at number 6, we have the finish of the 1992 Pontiac Excitement 400. Here we go, 5 to go.
All right, Alan, you can get by him.
No way.
Oh, Alan on the bottom.
Wreck him.
Cool camera,
How much you would bet he spins him out?
The door shut.
Yeah.
4 to go.
Making up all the...
I don't know. Alan didn't seem like that type of guy. That would have been a Dale Sr. move right there, in my opinion.
Yeah, Bill's just so good with holding that middle line.
Yeah.
But he's underneath him.
Middle and then going to right to the top. Oh!
Yo!
Now, if this were today, the little kids would have gotten upset.
Oh, he about hit a lap car. Lap car, get out of the way.
Oh, that lap car was so stupid.
It's not making some more contact there.
Kevin LePage moment.
3 laps to go. Here it comes. That bottom has been working for some cars all day. Here comes the wiki.
He got loose. He saved it.
Come on, get the side draft on him. Get the side draft.
Bump him. All right, coming to 1 to go. Coming to 1 to go this time.
No.
Oh, here he comes. Oh, he's giving it all he's got.
Bill, but...
Isn't me or has Sterling Marlin been trying to get his lap back the entire race?
Yeah. Here we go, white flag.
Oh!
Bumper.
Yo, here they come off turn 3. Turn 4.
Over the edge, here he comes.
Yo! Dude, no!
Oh, no, Bill!
I think Bill won it.
Oh, yes, he did.
Wow. Barely got him.
I have never ever seen that finish until today. That's crazy. No one talks about that.
Yeah, he beat him by 18 inches is what they just said. Wow.
That's crazy, man. Wow.
See where everyone else finished here.
Right before the white flag, he made it up to the inside of Elliott, and they were actually side by side and battling, crossed the white flag. They were too wide the entire lap, even in the turns. Neither of them backed down. They just kept going and going strong in the turns, and Kulwicki managed to get ahead of Elliott, actually, coming out of turn 4, and he had the lead going to the checkered flag, but Elliott managed to just get his bumper ever so slightly in front of Kulwicki's, like a few yards or maybe before the checkered flag, and Elliott ended up winning, but it was a crazy finish.
It was the first reaction video that we've done on our channel. We reacted to this, so if you haven't yet, go watch that. It was a great race. I was surprised that Kulwicki was able to catch Elliott, and it's one of the finishes that a lot of people forget about. It was a race that people don't talk about at all, it seems, and had to put some wide on it, so I feel like it deserved the number 6 spot.
Now we are at number 5. Rusty Wallace takes out Jeff Gordon.
Let him get up on my rear end, and to get close to me. Then I got down to turn 3 and got one of those old love taps, and I got up the racetrack a little bit and got second. That's about it.
This battle for the lead, the top 3 positions real close together on the track. Rusty's been...
I think that's top 4 positions.
Okay. Rusty's been trying to hold off Jeff Gordon for the last
some contact there. And they're still, they almost got hung together there.
Wow.
Now Jeff's going to try to get on the outside. Here he comes. He had tried it on the inside. That didn't work, so he said, let me go up on the high side of the racetrack. Rusty was protecting that bottom lane. And it looks like the Gordon, he's... Oh, they contact, and Jeff spins.
Got a spin on turn 2. Get out low. You got it. Go. Don't let the 20
smoke. Everybody checking out.
And Terry Labonte comes back to the line in front. Wow. Jeff Gordon into the wall hard in turn 2 is going to let back toward the pits.
Well, he's got a lot of damage to that DuPont Chevrolet. Here comes down pit road. Everything's a little hot, as you can tell.
Here come all the leaders down pit road. Jarrett stayed on the racetrack.
And that didn't surprise me. His car starts coming in after it runs a hard.
Real time. That's coming off 2, about a lap before it happened. And then Gordon gets on the outside, going in 3. Now to come off turn 4, he has the position. So by the start-finish line, down in 1. And there's Gordon, and we see Rusty just touch that left rear. Around goes Jeff, and hard in the outside retaining wall.
Run into the floor, and they had a little bit of a rivalry. It wasn't a huge robbery, but they had a little bit of a robbery. And Rusty Wallace intentionally took out Jeff Gordon to delight the crowd. There's a lot of people that thought that was pretty cool because Gordon was dominating that season. If I'm correct, he won like 12 races in 1998. And Wallace just took him out, plain and simple. And Terry Labonte went back to the lead. And I can't think on the top of my head who won that race, but yeah, big moment. I think it deserved that number 5 spot.
Yeah, I agree, and I have the script for number 4, I think, because I wasn't sure who was going to do it once Christian came, but I brought it up anyway. So at number 4, we have Tony Stewart's first win. Here's the clip.
And in his 25th NASCAR Winston Cup race, Tony Stewart wins at Richmond International Raceway. Becomes the first rookie in Winston Cup racing to win since Davey Allison at Dover. Down to Bill Weber.
Greg Ziffidelli, congratulations. You and Tony Stewart just got your first Winston Cup victory.
I just want to say thanks to everybody at Joe Gibbs Racing, Motor Department, Fab Shop, Prep Shop. Everybody done a great job. Everybody here, I'd like to say thanks to Bobby, Jimmy Maycar. You know, they've all made this possible. It's just an awesome day. Tony did a great job.
You have run so well at so many tracks. You started up front here. Did you think this could be your night?
Yeah, well, you have to have position, good pit stops, and an awesome, we just had an awesome day. I don't even know what to say. I can't believe it. This is a dream come true.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Well, Jimmy Maycar is here, and several other crew members have come down here to congratulate them. Tony Stewart started second. Tonight he's first for the first time in his NASCAR Winston Cup career.
And it looks like he's going to take an entire lap around the racetrack in celebration. Don't forget, SportsCenter is coming up next with all the major news stories from the day, including baseball, tennis, and auto racing. Back here at Richmond to talk with Tony in a moment. Back at Richmond International Raceway, the champion emerges.
He wants to throw everything. Is he excited or what? He should be.
Here's our McDonald's winner circle. Doctor, join the celebration.
Well, you know how excited he is. He hugs his crew chief before his fiance. That's how excited he is. He hugs Krista Dwyer now. A moment ago, Greg Ziffidelli, a big kiss. Hey, Tony, congratulations. Number 1, your first victory in NASCAR Winston Cup. What a night.
Oh, man. I wish I knew what to say. I mean, you plan all your life for something like this, and I don't know. It's the first time I've been speechless. Everybody knows I know how to talk. You know, this is for Davey Allison. I mean, this was the mark I had to shoot for all year, and you know, Donnie Allison and his family have been great to me this year. I'm out of breath. That's a lot of stuff to talk about after winning a race, but you know, Greg Zipadelli, all the people at Home Depot and all their associates, they have been just unbelievable this year. And Joe Gibbs Racing, Bobby Labonte, Jimmy Maycar, all the Interstate Battery guys. I mean, this is a team victory, and this is something Joe Gibbs has been dreaming about. It's a 1-2 finish. I'm just glad I'm on top tonight.
We could hear you those final 10 laps, the emotion beginning to creep into your voice as you told the spotter and everyone to talk to me, count them down. Talk to me, guys, about those last 2 laps.
Well, I mean, I kept getting intervals, and I knew we were running about the same times as Bobby. Just traffic was really going to hurt us at the end because the tires were getting really old, and it was hard to turn down underneath people and run the low line. But, you know, that's what we worked on really hard today in the first practice, was being able to stay low. And, you know, Greg and all the guys really, really worked hard to make sure this car drove good all day. You know, this is a long time coming. I want to dedicate this to Glenn Nibel. He's got cancer, and that guy taught me a lot, and, you know, a lot of stuff he taught me really helped me tonight, so this is for him.
And I also know how much you cared for Davey Allison, and that this is the first time a rookie has won since December of '87 when Davey Allison won at Dover. So that has to mean even more to you.
Well, it is. Like I say, you know, Donnie Allison was one of the few guys that... Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Proud of him. Thank you. I mean, you know, the Allison family's been good, and, you know, ever since Daytona, he's came down every week and offered advice to me, and it's really meant a lot to us this year.
Hey, go celebrate, my friend. You deserve it. You are a winner in Winston Cup.
No problem. I'm not going to have any problem celebrating now.
Tony Stewart, the Rushville Rocket, as they celebrate here in Victory Lane, and the party is about to begin.
Great sportsmanship there with Dale Jarrett. Glenn Nibel, one of Tony's short track owners back when he was running in the United States Auto Club. Finishing second tonight to Tony Stewart was Bobby Labonte.
Pretty cool one. But yeah, this is Tony Stewart's first win. This was during the 1999 race at Richmond, the X-Side NASCAR Select Batteries 400. And surprisingly, I did not know this. This was the first time that I found out about this, that this was actually only his 25th career start.
Yeah.
And that's crazy that he won just a 25th career start. And he led over 330 laps as well, which I think even is the most insane part. And yeah, he won by over 5 to 6, I believe they said, car lengths ahead of Bobby Labonte. So for him to do this, not only win the race with his 25th race, but just to lead over 330 laps. It wasn't luck. He was out here. He deserved this win. He did what he needed to do for those 300 laps, and he just dominated this.
Fact show, he had such a dominant car, and that rookie season, I would say, he had the best rookie season in NASCAR history, in my opinion. He just was winning, and he dominated that race, like you said. So moving on to number 3 was the famous Kyle Busch dumping Junior in 2008. Roll the tape.
There you go. Junior goes up the hill. Let's see if he can get a bite on the bottom of the racetrack. They'll be side by side down the back straightaway.
Ooh, man, that was tight off turn 2. He's got him. I believe he's got him this time. Oh, he turned him.
No.
Oh, he turned him. No.
Now here comes Clint Boyer to take the yellow flag.
Oh, no.
And wild thing, Kyle Busch makes contact with Dale Earnhardt Jr. And it looks like the drought will continue.
Boys, I just tell you something. That ain't going to go over too good right there.
No, it's not.
I love the little old boy to death, but that was not a good move right there. I was afraid of that when they got side by side late in the race on the old tires.
Racing for the lead, Kyle Busch and Dale Earnhardt Jr. coming down the backstretch to turn 3.
I think you'll just see him. He just gets in there a little too hard, and of course Junior's not cutting him any slack. He's keeping him pinned down, but can't run over the man. That was just unfortunate. I feel sorry for that.
Covered by Fox. And Denny Hamlin dominated this race. He led, if I'm correct, around 300 laps and at his hometown track. And Junior was looking for his first win in a couple years, or actually looking for his first win since 2006 at Richmond, which is in the honorable mentions. But anyways, Kyle Busch and him were battling side by side late in the race. And Clint Boyer got by Denny Hamlin. If I'm correct, Denny Hamlin had like a cut tire or something towards the end. But with around 3 laps to go, Kyle Busch in turn 3 just straight up dumped Dale Earnhardt Jr. and he went to the wall, and a lot of people are upset about it. Clint Boyer went by that and he won the race. It was Clint Boyer's first career win. And a lot of Junior Nation was really upset about it, and Kyle Busch had to have a lot of extra security leaving the track, which I wouldn't blame that because, you know, what he did was pretty ruthless and pretty savage. And later that year, Dale Earnhardt Jr. got payback spinning Kyle Busch in the fall Richmond race. So I think that was a respot.
Yeah, definitely. And that doesn't surprise me that Kyle Busch needed extra security, as Junior fans are some of the craziest, most cult-like following fans in NASCAR. You can't
Would you say they're worse? Would you say they're worse than Chase Elliott fans?
That's debatable because some Junior fans have gone to Chase Elliott.
That's true. Or what about the Joey fans? I'm just playing Mike.
Oh, hey, man. Joey fans. Wait, let me just say this one thing. Joey fans are not toxic. They can either be cringe or cool.
Yeah. Sorry if anyone watching is a Byron fan, but Byron fans are a different breed, man.
Comment down below if we should rank NASCAR fan bases.
I would say the Decker fan base is just Simps, pretty much.
Oh, yes. We will rank these fan bases. We will do a question sticker one day.
Yeah.
In at number 2 is Dale Sr. wrecking Darrell Waltrip and giving Kyle Petty the win.
Waltrip moves in. He's running out of time. Darrell Waltrip's running out of time.
If you've been with us all the way through this, remember of 100 laps or so ago when Waltrip was a lap down, he threw a punch and knocked Earnhardt sideways, and then they turned around and did it the other way around. Benny, are they even, one punch apiece, and now they'll settle it on the on a final lap?
They're even right now. I was thinking about that a moment ago, but they're even right. Darrell tried to get along. They're even right now, Dave. Nobody's got anything coming right now. Oh, they get sideways.
He hit him coming off, and he hit him going in. He used up all of his bumper that time, and I thought that perhaps Earnhardt came off a little early on the gas that time, which is a good way of trying to break the line of the fellow behind you. It's just here's Waltrip, keeps him straight, but he keeps on tapping. Now Waltrip on the inside. Side by side. Down to the inside.
Oh!
4 cars, there it goes.
There's Bodine into the fence. Joe Rudman spins around. Who's going to win the race? Where's Kyle Petty? Darrell Waltrip's alongside of him.
There's the hook. Bang.
Earnhardt came down, caught the right rear of Darrell's car. There's Darrell Waltrip's Chevrolet, and it is torn up.
Gone away.
It's stalled on the back straightaway. It can't go any farther.
Who do you feel hit who on that last thing between you and Darrell?
I just racing. I ain't going to, me and Darrell's got to race week to week. There ain't nothing to it.
Come on, Kyle. You don't have to comb your hair. Get out here. Kyle Petty's getting a proper attire on. He's removed the steering wheel from this Wood Brothers car, which has been out of the winner's circle for quite some time. Come on out, Kyle. Here he is. Here's the winner. Hey! Congratulations. You surprised?
Surprise ain't the word for it. I mean, we worked hard all day. The car pushed all day long, and we couldn't never get it. The motor ran real good, but we never got the driving right until right there at the very end, and then they just drove off and left, and I got caught in traffic. But evidently, they all got to running each other, and we were lucky.
Did you see the crash?
No, I was in the middle of the backstretch, and I seen the smoke. I just run up on Daddy and him, and I guess the 10 cars, Sachs, and those guys, and was trying to just feel my way around them to finish the race. And looked down the corner, and I seen a yellow bumper, and I figured it was Bodines or Earnhardt's. I didn't know which one it was, but we was fortunate, real lucky today.
In the 1986 race, Waltrip and Earnhardt were battling for the win. Waltrip was told to pass Dale by his crew chief, Junior Johnson. Waltrip obliged and tapped Dale in the bumper, causing him to move up the track. Dale went into the dirt with his left side tires and almost cleared Dale until Dale made a hard left turn into him, spinning them both out. Now, this was also the race where Dale climbed out of the car and was wiping out of his windshield clean. So now we will move on to. Oh, sorry.
It was crazy because this was basically Kyle Busch dumping Junior, but 30 years earlier or 20 years earlier. like, with the number 3 one, Clint Boyer got his first win, and with the number 2 one, Kyle Petty got his first Cup win. It's pretty crazy, and Dale Sr. flat out dumped Darrell Waltrip, and he spun himself out, and then, like, there's about 5 other cars that were involved in that wreck, and the announcer, Benny Parsons, is like, where's Kyle Petty? Because he knew Kyle Petty was in 3rd, and Kyle Petty got by all that carnage and took home the win under yellow.
Yeah, it was very similar to the Kyle Busch versus Dale Jr. moment because, when I was reviewing the top 10 list, I was thinking that, and then I watched the video. I'm like, yeah, it was. But anyways, number 1, it had to appear here, Spingate.
There are the numbers as the point standings wound up the regular season tonight in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series here at Richmond International Raceway. Carl Edwards, the winner in victory lane tonight. He actually wound up the regular season leading the championship after Jimmy Johnson struggled for a 4th consecutive week. And the reseed in points will find Edwards starting the chase in 5th position. More on that coming up. Well, the whole finishing order of this race turned around when Clint Boyer spun out, running in 16th position with 5 laps to go in the race. Boyer spinning and the changing circumstances that resulted, allowing his Michael Waltrip teammate Martin Truex Jr. to make it into the chase, will naturally set some of the conspiracy theorists abuzz.
Man's gonna win the race. Well, that kind of sucks. 9 more right here. Is your arm starting to hurt? I bet it's hot in there. Itches. Oh, yeah. Right with you, 88. Right with you. Right with you. Right with you.
So those are some of the circumstances. Jamie is with Clint Boyer right now.
Well, Clint, we just watched some of the replays and we heard the radio. And people that hear that radio, somebody asking you if your arm's hurt or if the car's getting hot, they're going to want to know, did you spin on purpose to help your teammate?
No, I think we had a flat tire or something. I mean, we went from leading the race and got back there, and I mean, they were driving off from us. I got down in there, it kept getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And then the 88 got in there, and by the time I got back to the gas, he got into me, and I had so much wheel in it, it just snapped around. But it just sucks. I mean, the whole weekend was looking good. We led, got caught in the pits. That's the 3rd week in a row we were leading and had a legitimate shot at win, and just got caught in the pits again, and wasn't our night. You never want to be, that guy, and unfortunately changed some things up there at the end. Super proud of Patty and everybody for giving me another great race. Car is capable of winning, and we got to get this bad luck behind us. But nonetheless, we're running well, and I feel like we're still contending. A car capable of contending for a championship.
And it is a night for celebration. You make the chase again with this team.
Kind of hard to celebrate with all this stuff going on, but we'll get this behind us and go on. It's been a long year. It's crazy to think that all this comes down to the end every year here at Richmond, but it does. A bunch of cars racing back there for everything. It's unfortunate that some good cars had to lose this deal because, they're plenty capable of winning a championship. I mean, I'm telling you, in this sport right now, I think 14 to 15 cars had a legitimate shot given a roll or whatever to win a championship, but wasn't our night again. Hopefully it'll be our night soon.
All right, Clint Boyer will be the 8th seed. Let's go to Doc.
Yeah, and that spin by Clint Boyer cost Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s teammate Jeff Gordon a chance to get in the chase. Junior, you were behind the 15. What did you see?
He just spun right out. That's the craziest thing I ever saw. The thing just came right around.
we were going into through 3 and 4, and I don't know if they could put up his brakes and his gas. We got all that technology, and but he was hemming around on the brakes and jerking the car around, and then the thing just spun out. It was crazy. I don't know what was going on, but he was right there. I almost run into him, so I'm just glad we were able to get out of there with no trouble.
Let me ask you about the chase now.
Now, MWR was busted for actions detrimental to stock car racing. All 3 cars, the 15, the 55, and the 56, penalized with 50 driver and owner points. These points penalties were assessed after Saturday night's race and will not impact the chase seating. Now, MWR has also been fined $300,000. Vice President and General Manager Ty Norris has been suspended indefinitely, and all 3 crew chiefs are on probation until December 31st. NASCAR President Mike Helton spoke last night about the severe sanctions levied against Michael Waltrip Racing.
Yeah, this naturally is a very significant reaction from NASCAR. As multiple car owners have become a very positive, integral part of our sport, also comes with it, though, responsibility from NASCAR and as well the car owners to maintain a fair and level playing field. The reaction from NASCAR is to Michael Waltrip Racing and every team in his organization, but the collection of all the information we collected from Saturday night led us to the team-wide reaction as opposed to an individual car. There's not conclusive evidence that the 15 spin was intentional. The most clear was the direction that the 55 driver was given and the confusion around it, and then the conversation following that occurrence. That's the most clear piece of what we found through looking at all of the detail that led us to make the conclusion. It's a message from the league or the sanctioning body say you can't do this. Every now and then it gets out of bounds and we have to bring it back in order to maintain credibility.
NASCAR warned teams before Saturday's race to play fair. And although NASCAR says they could not find conclusive evidence that Clint Bowyer's spin was intentional, well, it certainly changed the makeup of the chase. So, was the move premeditated or a split-second decision with poor signal calling? Here's a replay of the 15 teams' communications at Richmond with just 7 laps to go.
Carl Edwards is going to win. I don't know, man. Newman's closing on him. Right now they're tied for the last spot. You're clear by 2 on this 13. Pressure tires. 39 is going to win the race. Well, that kind of sucks. 9 more right here. Is your arm starting to hurt? I bet it's hot in there, itching. Oh, yeah. Right with you, 88. Right with you. Right with you. Right with you. Bring it to me this time. Bring it to me this time. Pit, Clint. Pit. But don't speed. Damn, we didn't need to finish last.
Mike Helton said, quote, "There's not conclusive evidence that the 15 spin was intentional," unquote. More egregious, or perhaps the so-called smoking gun, was a conversation that took place late in that race between Ty Norris and driver Brian Vickers.
Staying out. Are we racing anyone directly in front of us so we have a chance to pass? If not, I'd say we lay back on the restart. We're probably going to pit here on green. We got to pit. You talking to me? We got to pit? Yeah, we're going to pit. What? Yeah, I've got to. I don't understand. Pit right now? Green flag. Got to pit this time. We need that 1 point. So I got a tire going down? Yes. Guys, get a look at it. Get a look at it. I'll see you after the race, Brian. Oh, you kiss.
It's important to note here that the 50-point penalty will not affect Clint Bowyer in the chase seating. However, the 50-point penalty levied against Martin Truex Jr. dropped him from 12th to 17th in points, which allowed Ryan Newman to enter the chase. So the new point standings for the chase, which begins this weekend at Chicagoland Speedway, has Matt Kenseth out in front based on his series-leading 5 wins. Jimmy Johnson and Kyle Busch both scored 4 wins. They're 3 points behind Johnson. Bowyer, who failed to win in the regular season, well, he's 15 points behind in Kenseth in 8th.
Here's Stewart-Haas Racing co-owner Tony Stewart's reaction after the penalty was issued. Quote, NASCAR was put in a very difficult position Saturday night at Richmond, and we commend the sanctioning body for taking the time to do the necessary due diligence to ensure that the right call was made, unquote. Fox Sports Live spoke with Ryan. Here's what he had to say.
Obviously, I was kind of furious, but in the end, I didn't know what was going to happen, what NASCAR was going to do, or, even what I could do. I'm thankful for the decision that was made. I'm thankful, because it affected me in such a good way. That situation and the way everything unfolded changed everything.
So in the 2013 regular season finale, Martin Truex Jr. was battling for a playoff spot with Ryan Newman and Jeff Gordon. It appeared that Newman was going to win the race, but Clint Bowyer was instructed with code of, how is your arm feeling? Well, itch it. And Clint spun himself out purposefully, as well as Brian Vickers staying out under yellow and then pitting during the restart. Truex managed to squeeze his way into the playoffs until the penalties happened. NASCAR concluded that Bowyer had spun himself out intentionally and docked all of MWR's drivers 50 drivers points, equaling Truex eliminated from playoff contention. Ty Norris from the team, I believe he was the team president if I'm correct, he was suspended the team director, excuse me. He was suspended indefinitely from NASCAR, and the entire team was fined $300,000 for the incident and was put on probation. Ryan Newman was given the playoff spot, and in a strange move to make a 13th spot for Jeff Gordon, ultimately leading to the playoffs we have today. Now, another interesting fact was that Joey Logano's team had asked David Gilliland's team for him to move over in exchange for future help.
The chase for the Sprint Cup could get another shakeup as Fox Sports was first to report on a communication exchange during last Saturday's race at Richmond, where David Gilliland was allegedly asked to give up a position to help Joey Logano earn a spot in the chase. Here now is the exclusive audio of the exchange laid over real-time broadcast video of the race.
Frank, go to channel 2 for a second. You got me? Hey, the 22 is requesting that we give him this spot at the end of the race. They said they need it just to make sure that they're locked in, and they said they'd probably be able to help us in the future with whatever, so I'm just running that by you. I didn't want to run it over the other channel.
So if we can back up that far.
Laps to go, David. 9 right now, 9. All clear.
22 could really use the spot we got, bud.
Dave, we're going to have to let this 22 go. He's about a half a straightaway back. He's the only position we can lose. There's 8 to go. He's about a half a straightaway back. P24, you'll only finish P25. Got a spin right here. Never mind. Got a spin. Caution is out. I'll let you know what's going on here, but it was pretty big. All right, 1 to go at the line.
Only person we're racing on our lap, make sure I have this correct, is the 22.
Correct.
We know what we need to do.
10-4, he's right here with me.
Later. In fact, you tell that spotter up there, it better pay big.
It's not the spotter, it's the whole committee.
Committee knows what I've been asking for.
We got the big dogs, Wiggett and all of his cronies.
All them, Travis knows what I've been asking for.
Still need to come into the green.
You ready? Ready? Green, green, green.
He's right behind you there. He's 2 back off of you in your lane. Inside 22. He's struggling bad here. Three wide. Just take care of your car. There you go. Good job, man. Good job. Hopefully you get something out of that.
Now, NASCAR issued this statement on Wednesday afternoon. NASCAR is aware of reports about the number 22 and number 38 radio communications at Richmond International Raceway and is looking into it, but is yet to see anything in full context that requires any action. Here is our NASCAR Race Hub crew in Charlotte with more.
In the race on Saturday night, Joey Logano finished 22nd. David Gilliland came home in the 23rd position. With us now, NASCAR on Fox analyst Jeff Hammond. You've heard the audio. What's your reaction?
Well, this is things I've been hearing all my life. I mean, not to this degree, but, you know, we've seen this a lot of times, folks. I mean, this is not something that just happened at Richmond on Saturday night. It's been going on. I've been around this sport for over 30 years, and anytime you get down toward the end of the year when the championship's on the line or trying to make the chase, you're going to hear stuff like this.
Jeff, as a former crew chief, explain to the casual fan who may be watching what the implications are for the teams, the drivers, and the sponsors, which obviously the risk versus the reward, but a lot on the line.
Well, for the casual fan, if you're a stick and ball person, at the end of the year, what are you really looking for? The playoffs. And this is what NASCAR's version of the playoffs is all about. And making that is such a huge deal. You go start this year, this time, right now, they're already thinking about 2014. And these teams have been working all season long to get through those first 26 races so they could make it to the chase and have an opportunity to win a championship. Millions of dollars and millions of hours have probably gone into trying to make a chase in 1 year.
And this is huge for Joey Logano, who would be making his first ever trip to NASCAR's version of the playoffs. And speaking of NASCAR, they released a statement on Wednesday, but they have not said for sure if there will be any sanctions handed down for that 22 team. We'll continue to keep you posted.
But this was not widely known, as everyone was focusing more on the MWR situation, which this is another what if in itself. Like, what do you guys think could happen if Spingate never happened?
That's a good question. Like, Spingate, I honestly was debating whether to put it at number 1 spot or at number 2. And number 1, I think, is fit because of how much impact it had on the sport. And honestly, when I was watching this race, when I was around 12, 13 years old, I felt so bad for Ryan Newman. Like, he dominated that race, and he wasn't able to get in because of all those, you know, the spin, and then everyone just cheated. And I remember thinking, at the time, I thought Boyer did intentionally spin. And then, you know, the day later, everyone found out about the audio and everything. And I was pretty, you know, infuriated. And so was so many other people at Michael Waltrip Racing for what they did and everyone else involved. And thinking and looking back at it now, I still don't feel like Jeff Gordon should have been in that chase. Even though I am a Hendrick Motorsports fan, I still don't think Gordon should have been in. Adding a 13th driver, like, I don't know, I don't get that. But I feel like it definitely changed the sport because now, every year, it seems there's always changes involving the playoffs. And if that hadn't happened, then I don't think the playoffs would have happened. But what do you have to say, Ryan?
Yeah, I was trying to unmute myself. It wasn't working. But yeah, I agree that, you know, it was messed up. I actually didn't know about this until today. I don't think I was watching back then. I'm not sure. But, you know, from what I'm hearing about it, obviously the first thing that comes to mind is Kyle Busch spinning in the truck race. But yeah, with this event alone, I'm pretty, I don't know what to say, really. It's disappointing for them, you know, at the time, obviously. So I think they shouldn't have done it, but I get what they were trying to do. It just didn't work out, and I think it was wrong. I think they deserved what punishments they were given and what points they were docked.
Yeah, definitely. Spingate was one of the most disgraceful things that I've ever seen as a NASCAR fan. And it only came in my first full-time year of watching NASCAR. No disrespect to Boyer. I know that, you know, it wasn't him with the idea and he just was following team orders, but MWR is a disgraceful franchise for that, and I'm honestly glad that they're out of the sport.
Wow. I like Michael Waltrip, but I didn't like some of the stuff they did. I will say that.
Yeah, I agree. They don't deserve to be a team if they're just going to cheat like that, like blatantly like that. And even we get this not so good format because a lot of people should have either more championships, less championships, or they shouldn't have won the years they won. And you can thank Spingate for that because I don't think we would have had this format. Everybody was perfectly fine with the consistency chase format, and then all of a sudden MWR has to ruin it with Spingate, and it was just stupid. The whole thing was stupid, and that's just my full thoughts on it.
Yo, low key, I'm actually I'm now at my real house, but there's literally a shooting in my neighborhood. Like, no cap. Like, there's police and tape.
Ooh,
it's crazy. I'm gonna have to park somewhere else. They won't let me get to my real house.
Yeah, at least we got your last words on video.
Dude, come on,
Ryan,
chill out, bro. I could show y'all if I can. I could show y'all the news cameras and stuff. Hold on a second. Well, I don't feel like I should do that because this is a podcast. We can't be doing that.
I see the police sirens.
Yeah, I'm not going to show anything. I'm just got to sit here and park in a parking lot or something over here. They blocked the road, so I can't get home.
Well, that's tough. But on that note, who's y'all's picks for this weekend? I believe the trucks are racing and Cup as always. So for the truck race, I'm having a little bit of a dilemma because I'm not really sure who's good here. Okay, Kyle Busch is here. I'm going with Kyle Busch.
Yo, is he? Okay. I'm gonna stick with my pick before, and I'm gonna go with Sheldon Creed.
Christian?
Sorry, I was distracted. Are you talking about the truck race?
Yes.
Okay, truck race. Honestly, this is gonna be tough because the truck series just returned to Richmond this past year. They used to race at Richmond, but they just now returned a year ago. And for me, I want to say Timothy Peters, but I don't feel like he's gonna do anything. He's kind of washed up, to be honest. And I want to say Crafted too because he has experience at the track. Is Kyle Busch or Harvick racing that race?
Kyle Busch is racing.
I really don't want to pick Kyle because I think he'll win it, but I don't want to pick him. That's the problem. And I picked Sean Creed before, and he hasn't won. So I'm going to go with Grant Enfinger.
And for the Cup race, this should be a little easier because they have raced at Richmond more recently. So, I mean, I don't remember last year's race because Richmond is not really that good with this package. But I guess I'll go with Martin Truex Jr. to go 2 in a row. I think that he was doing really well last season at the same race, and then Brad Keselowski won it. But I'm going to just go with Martin Truex Jr. Toyotas always seem strong in Virginia.
Yeah, I am going to say that Truex cannot get the 2 wins in a row, though I feel like that might be proven wrong by that. I'm going to say, I'm not sure if this is really a dark horse pick, but it's definitely not one of the more popular ones that I've seen. Mike knows what I'm talking about. I am saying Larson will get the win. Christian?
Ooh, Kyle Larson. Interesting. Well, for me, I'm not going to pick Kyle Busch for truck race, but I will pick him to win the Cup race. And Denny, I thought he was going to win last week, but he couldn't quite do it. And I think Kyle Busch, with his experience at the track and his success with 6 wins at Richmond in the Cup Series, I think Kyle Busch is going to get his first win of the season.
All right, and on that note, that will conclude this week's episode. Thank you guys so much.
Mike.
Yeah.
One thing I just want to bring up before the episode ends. Did y'all see the SRX racing testing at Stafford Speedway? That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that series is definitely going to look really good. I'm very interested to watch that. But
it looks really lit. Like, I love that they're bringing wing cars back into racing. I think it's going to be a success. And they just announced recently too, today, if I'm correct, they announced who's going to be on the broadcast team. And Danica's on there, so
don't forget Alan Bestwick.
Yep, Alan Bestwick. I mean, I grew up listening to Alan Bestwick, so yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to this series. I really like the car. I like how it's a mix of different cars, whether it's like a sports car and then in the back it's like a little Superbird. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the series. But since this is a NASCAR podcast, that will conclude this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe. Make sure you guys follow all our Instagrams. Join our fantasy league. Join our Discord server. And we will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
Peace.